चौदह अवतार तहाँ करे न ईश्वर। चौदह अवतार तहाँ करे न ईश्वर। तहाँ करे न ईश्वर। ब्रह्मार एक दिन है 14 मनवंतर। 14 अवतार तहाँ करे न ईश्वर। हमारा एक दिन है 14 मनवंतर। 14 अवतार तहाँ करे न ईश्वर। ब्रह्मार एक दिन है 14 मनवंतर। हरे कृष्ण। ब्रह्मार एक दिने, in one day of Brahma, here there are 14 Manu Antara, changes of Manu, 14 Avatar incarnations, Tahan, in that time, Karena manifests Ishvara, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation and purpose by Srila Prabhupada ki. In one day of Brahma, there are 14 changes of Manus, and during the reign of each of those 14 Manus, an incarnation is manifested by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. From these words, it can be calculated that in 1 month, 30 days of Brahma's life, there are 420 Manvantara avatars, and that in 1 year, 360 days of his life, there are 5040 Manvantara incarnations. Thus, for the 100 years of Brahma's life, there is a total of 504,000 Manvantara avatars. In addition, the Manus themselves are considered partial incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य सतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So let's repeat translations. In one day of Brahma, there are 14 changes of the Manus, and during the reign of each of those 14 Manus, an incarnation is manifested by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in this chapter, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is instructing to Sanatana Goswami. And earlier we have seen how Krishna, Mahaprabhu explains about the incarnations, how the creation happens, the whole thing we describe in this chapter. It's a long chapter. And then now, so earlier in this previous verses, Mahaprabhu explained that how actually incarnation happens. So from Krishna, then how do we see this three avatars, guna avatars, and all others. And now he's going more in detail that how the even in this one universe, how things takes place. So earlier he explained about from Krishna, his different Shaktis manifested, and then from Vishnu, then we got three Purusha avatars, Kanadakshay Vishnu, and then Mahavishnu, and then in Garbhodakashay Vishnu and Siddhakashay Vishnu. Siddhakashay Vishnu is as a Paramatma in every living entities. So while Brahma creates this whole universe, this is Visarga. So there are two creation happens. One is Sarga and the second is Visarga. Sarga is the first creation, that is by Lord Vishnu himself, and secondary creation is done by Lord Brahma. Basically, it's like understanding is like we go out to get all the ingredients, isn't it? Without ingredients, we can't cook anything. So we get all the ingredients, okay, sabji, paneer, and everything, and then in the kitchen we make nice dish for the deities, right? So one thing is buying the items, and second is again cooking the dishes. So Lord Vishnu provides everything to Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma create this. And then this now Mahaprabhu is saying that this if you see the previous verse 319, Mahaprabhu says that the they are unlimited and no one can count them. Just hear of their sources. So I'm just giving you one information about the universe, what happens in one universe, but they are unlimited. We see that the last picture over there, there we can see how so many universes are being created, and these are unlimited in numbers. And then he says about this 14 avatars, and also he's saying that in one day of Brahma, right? The verse starts saying that in one day of Brahma. So one day of Brahma is what? So I'll try to share the screen as possible. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. We'll discuss this one. Yeah. So we'll discuss from this one. Okay. You can see this, right? So here, this is a small kind of diagram where we can understand about the whole life of Brahma. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this chapter he is just explaining about one day of Brahma, which also called as kalpa, a kalpa. So we'll go from bottom and then I'll try to reach to the end. So if you see on the bottom, it says there are different yugas. There are four yugas we know. The four yugas continuous on cycles. That is Sati Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. Right now we are in Kali Yuga, and as being described this, we have just gone through 5,000, 7,000 years of this Kali Yuga. Just imagine. So here Kali Yuga is very small span, and that is 4,200,000 years. And then double of Kali Yuga is Dwapar Yuga. So expansion of Dwapar Yuga is a bit larger than that. And thrice of Kali Yuga is Treta Yuga. And then quadruple of Kali Yuga is your Sati Yuga. So the whole cycle, Sati Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga, it continues again and again. So after Kali Yuga finishes, Sati Yuga will start. It doesn't happen like today, 30th January, 30th December, and 1st January again becomes Sati Yuga. It's not like that. There is Sandhi. So Sandhi means the mixing. Like when we see in the morning, It doesn't like at 6 a.m. it's a whole day, and 5:59 it was night. It's not like that. It's a gradual progress of the mixing of night and then day. That's called a sandhi. In the similar way, when the yuga changes, there is small sandhi. If you see on the middle, it's called sandhyas. On the bottom line, so this mixing of yugas are called as sandhyas or sandhis, where sometimes overlapping of things happens. The people's their mind gradually changes towards when, let's for example, from Kali Yuga transferring to Sati Yuga. So gradually the ill and envious nature goes down, and the pious nature comes alive like that, right? And in one of the kids session, actually we are taking, so we are discussing this a bit about this four yoga. So there was an interesting question being asked by a kid. He says, "Oh, so I mean, I talked about that the lifespan of person in each yoga. So in Sati Yoga used to have greater life. Right now in Kali Yoga it's 100, but in Dwapar it's 1,000, in Treta is 10,000, in Satya is 1 lakh year used to live. So he says, oh wow. So if we can live for this Kali Yuga, and next comes Sati Yuga, so we can live for 1 lakh years." So that's good. The kids are thinking, okay, we can live so longer, isn't it? So yeah, so in Kali Yuga, the lifespan of each person is very, is actually says 100 years, but is going down and down every single time, isn't it? And this four yuga, Sati Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga, the cycle is called as Dibya Yuga, and it is 4.32 million years. It becomes whole four yuga. And if you go to the second lane, where we see this Manavantara, the second part. So what happens now? So there are 71 Dibya Yugas. So means 71 means approximately 1,000 Chatur Yuga. Chatur Yuga is Dibya Yuga. 4 yugas, Sati Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. And 71 Dibya Yuga, it happens in one Manavantara. And Mahaprabhu says in this verse that there are 14 Manvantaras in one day of Brahma. So just imagine 4.32 million years of one Dibya Yuga, that into 71 times. That becomes 1 day of in one Manavantara. So that comes to 306.72 million years of one life of Manavantara. Just imagine how huge it is, isn't it? And that too, the Lord Brahma, in if you see the last lane, third lane, where it says Kalpa, that 1 day of Brahma. So 4.32 billion years, that's 14 Manavantara and 15 Sandhyas. And same is the night length. So just 1 day of Brahma is 4.32 billion years, and the same as the night. So 8.64 billion years is 24 hours of Brahma. Can you imagine it? And that's why sometimes we say Lord Brahma is also in Aja, he is eternal, he never dies. Because the context is, when we compare to our own life, Lord Brahma's life is a way, way huge than us, isn't it? And in this way, Lord Brahma lives for 100 years. Just imagine. So same day, 1 day of 12 hours, night of 12 hours, right? 7 days of a week, and then it goes for 30 days of a month, then 12 months of a year. And in that way, Lord Brahma lives for 100 years. And that's how the lifespan of Lord Brahma. It says that 311.04 trillion years, that makes Lord Brahma's life. I mean, even you can't imagine about these numbers. And just imagine how many zeros are there in the trillions. And we live for just 2 zeros, at max 100, 100. It can go more beyond that. So the point is here, Mahaprabhu explaining about the way Lord Brahma lives, and in that each time a Manu, there are 14 Manus, and in one Manus there are also many incarnations happens. What happens? The first, if you see, the types of incarnations. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is speaking about Manavantara avatars, but there are 6 types of Manavantara avatars. The 6 types of avatars. What are those? Anyone? Lila avatars, Guna avatars, Purusha avatars, Shaktavesh avatara, Yuga avatars. Right. One more. The one we're discussing. Manu. Right. So Manu avatar, Manavantara, Lila avatar, Yuga avatar, Saktavesh avatar, Guna avatar, and Purusha avatar. Guna avatar and Purusha avatars are 3. 3 Purusha avatars are Mahavishnu, Gravadakasaya Vishnu, Shirodakasaya Vishnu. So Shirodakasaya Vishnu is the Paramatma as a Paramatma in each living entity or each atom, you can say, isn't it? And then Garbhodakasaya Vishnu is the Paramatma of each universe, right? And Mahavishnu is the Paramatma of all the universes. Are you getting a point? So within each universe, there are unlimited human beings, living beings, plant and space and everything. So in each, we see in chapter 10, Krishna explained that he remains as Paramatma in every living entities. Right. So that Paramatma is actually Shodakasaya Vishnu. Right. And universe, to maintain the universe, there is a Paramatma needed, and that Paramatma is Garbhodakasaya Vishnu. Garbhodakasaya Vishnu becomes the Paramatma of each universes. And in a similar way, to maintain all the universes, Mahavishnu becomes the Paramatma of all material creation. And I think in chapter 7, somewhere, chapter 6 or chapter 7, Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada writes that there is no Paramatma conception in spiritual world. So in this material world, we cannot function without Paramatma. So it says like Atma and Paramatma, they go hand in hand. But in spiritual life, it's just the self serving Krishna. So we discussed about Purusha avatars and then Guna avatars. Guna avatars, 3 Guna avatars, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Lord Vishnu. And in one of the bhajan by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says, Tavaisha matra Shiva, Tavaisha matra Brahma, Karyana Srujan. So he says, by your wish, O Krishna, Lord Brahma creates. And by in the verse, Vajana says, even by your wish, Lord Shiva destroys. And even by your wish, the Maya, she maintains, she takes care of this material world, isn't it? And these are the 3 Guna avatars. And then Saktavesh avatars are the empowered avatars. So when a qualified person, he is being empowered by Lord Krishna to do some activities, like many devotees say, like Prabhupada, the Saktavesh avatars. And then Yuga avatars, every Yuga has his own Yuga dharmas, and Yuga avatars are there. And then Leela avatars are unlimited. Lord Krishna manifests in different mode of pastimes to give pleasure to the Lord. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I come to establish dharma, to annihilate demons. But the real essence of Lord taking his appearances are to give pleasure to the devotees. I mean, by those pastimes, the devotees can come together, relish the nectar and divine pastimes of the Lord. Even see the pastimes of the Lord, if Krishna is stealing something, he got a name, Mark and Sure. And then we enjoy it, relish it, isn't it? If he's hiding the clothes of the gopis, he is being releasable. He's not being punished. Just imagine if we do something, steal something here and there, what will happen, If we get caught, we know what the next. We get punished. The jail is there. The prison house is there waiting for us. But for Krishna, it's nothing. Even he runs away from the battlefield, which is not a good conduct. While fighting, you can't run away. It means you already defeated. But he takes, okay, I'm run sure. No problem at all for me. and he runs away. And but the devotees, uh, they they enjoy the pastime. They know why Krishna is running away. There is a motive. He wants to give some pleasure. All right. And then there are so many, all the pastimes of Krishna, anything you can take of, anything. It's just for the giving pleasure to the devotees. So that we devotees can come in Karuna Bhavan and discuss about Krishna's pastimes and relish it. And, and then uh, and then we discussed about Manvantara avatars. So 14 Manvantara in one day. And in each Manvantara avatara, I think in 11th canto, is being described that in each Manu, there are six kinds of incarnation happens, or six. The first is the Manu, ruling Manu, right? And then the second one is the chief demigods, like Indra, Chandra, like that. And also the son of Manus, like the son of Manu, they need to fill this universe. And then Indra, and the seven great sages, and then the partial incarnation of Supreme Lord Himself. They appear in each Manu. So these six are fixed, and whenever we see that there is no qualified Manu to rule the kingdom, what happens? Krishna himself comes up, right? So Krishna takes the position of Indra. Sometimes he takes the position of Manu, and then the whole metal cosmos continues, right? Anyone have any point of discussion before you move ahead? Yes, Prabhu. Yes. So if it's there also one was called as Adi Kavi. So it's also called as Adi. So many times being referred later because the lifespan of Lord Brahma is so huge, we tend to understand that Lord Brahma is eternal, and that happens in second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Narad Muni comes, and Narad Muni comes and says to glorify to Lord Brahma, says that, oh Lord, my father, whom are you meditating upon? Because I know that you are the one. You are the creator, you are the maintainer, and you do everything. So whom are you meditating upon? Is someone else is higher is there? And then Lord Brahma says, the people who thinks me as the supreme, they are the fools. Actually, someone higher than me is there. So I'm meditating upon him. So then he explains about the Chatur Sloka Bhagavatam, where he explains that yes, it's not me, it actually I'm being empowered by someone else. And when we know, like Prabhupada says, when Lord Brahma appears from the navel of our Lord Vishnu, so Lord Brahma appears without any father and mother. He appears from the womb of the from Lord himself in a lotus flower, and then he started meditating upon what to do, what not to do. And then Vishnu gives him all the knowledge that how you can cook nice palatable dishes for the Lord, right? So, Shri Kuranta Mayapur Sasi Ki Jai. So, yes, I think, yeah. Good avatars are three: Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, and Purusha avatars are Mahavishnu, Shradakasai Vishnu, and Garbhodakasai Vishnu. So that's why we're discussing about Garbhodakasai Vishnu is the Paramatma of each universe. Shradakasai Vishnu is the Paramatma in each living entity. So inside us, when we say that inside Bhagavan is there, inside us Krishna is there, actually we refer to Paramatma, and that Paramatma goes back to Shradakasai Vishnu. In a similar way, the all the universe is being controlled or being the Paramatma is our Mahavishnu. Is that true?
For the gods, this one question I was saying, mentioning that Krishna does these pastimes for pleasure of his devotees. So Krishna does the pastimes for the pleasure of his devotees or for his own pleasure.
Krishna's Krishna's does pastimes for this pleasure of devotees or his own pleasure. So both are there, but it's more in this middle. So Krishna doesn't need us to do pastimes. Actually, he self sustains. His self everything is there for him. So uh, in the spiritual world, he's doing pastimes all the time, right? So when we say Syama Sundar, he has his flute and he's doing his pastimes all the time. But in the material world, so if he doesn't do any pastime in the material world, how the living entity or conditioned soul, especially in this material world, can know about Krishna? Just to revive this conditioned soul, that supreme something superior than this material world is there. So he comes and do his pastimes. And the Nitya Siddhas, the devotees who are perfected devotees, who are being empowered by the Lord, I mean, they are associates of the Lord, they come here and to propagate the message that, see, just 500,000 years back, 500 years back, Mahaprabhu came and this pastime. He's Krishna himself. So the conditioned soul, for conditioned soul, it's become very difficult to imagine about something spiritual. So just to relate them that, see, just before this only, if you can just go back to 500 years back, you can see that Mahaprabhu was here and then he was roaming around the South India and in Jagannath Puri and dancing was there. So it makes a bit more context to relate things, isn't it? So both Krishna Krishna does pastimes for the pleasure of the gopis, especially the cowherd boys. So if you see what happened in when Lord Rama went towards forest, the rishis is being discussed that the rishis, they wanted to have association of Lord Ram. He says no, we'll come back again in next time and then we'll do pastimes over there. Right. So it's both. So by giving pleasure to the devotees, Krishna get pleasure as well. At the same time, the conditioned souls, by hearing the pastimes of the Lord, what happens? When we hear Krishna's pastimes from our ears, what happens? Our heart get cleansed. And so that we are suffering in this material world, and it becomes an easy path to go to spiritual world for us. Otherwise, it's very, very difficult. Without hearing, without hearing about Krishna, without understanding and knowing about Krishna, which can only be given by the bona fide spiritual master, we cannot ever think of going back to Godhead. Right? In there is a verse. I think. Give me 1 second. I think. Uh, yeah, I was just reading it few days back. Let me say this one. Very interesting point. Actually, this is made in 11 canto. Can you see this? Yeah. So this is from 11 canto, text 2, verse 37. Here, it's been described how this jiva get entangled into the conditioned state of life, and what the solution is. It's not just about the our shastra doesn't give only about the problem; it gives solution as well. So he says, "Bhayam द्वितीया विनिवेशतः स्या ईषद अपेतस्य विपर्यो स्मृति तन्मायातो बुद्ध आवजेत तम भक्त्या के शेषम गुरुदेव तात्मा devatma." So he says that fear arises when a living entity misidentifies himself as the material body because of absorption in the external illusory energy of the Lord. When the living entity thus turns away from the Supreme Lord, he also forgets his own constitutional position as a servant of the Lord. This bewildering, fearful condition is affected by the potency of for illusion called Maya. Therefore, an intelligent person should engage unflinchingly in the unalloyed devotional service of the Lord under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. Very importantly, it says, whom he should accept as his worshipable deity and his very life and soul. So, many things have been described here. First thing says that the fear of what? We are always in the consensus, we are always fearful. Fear of what? Fear of past, present, and future, isn't it? In one of the class, Amranda Prabhu was giving an example what the fear means. So fear is, if you want to buy, he gave an example of, I'll give the same example, he gave example of buying a phone. Okay, there is a new iPhone launched in the market. I want to buy it. So we got the desire to buy the phone first, isn't it? So what happens? We start accumulating how much money we need to buy the phone. So we start working hard for that amount of money we need to accumulate. And after that, we buy it. And eventually we get buy it. And then what happens next? It becomes fearful. Oh, it's so expensive. I have spent so much of my time, so much of my energy to accumulate it. I need to be very careful. And just imagine if you are, he gave the example of this one. He just imagine you are traveling in the Mumbai local train with your iPhone on the top of your pocket. People might not steal it, but there is so much rush that you might fall after as well. So you have fear now, right? The fear of losing the phone. So in the past, you have spent so much of your time and energy to get the money to buy the phone, and now you are fearful of losing it. And eventually, if some happens, you become more fearful. Basically, the real fear is fear of death, isn't it? What happens in the fear of death? So he's saying this fear arises when the living entity misidentifies himself as a material body. Why? Because of absorption in the external illusory energy of the Lord. So this verse, this word is a ishad apitesya. So when the living entity at the very first time turns his face away from Krishna, when he turns away from the Krishna, this Maya holds him. And as soon as Maya holds him, what happens? The two things happens. So this is Viparaya and Asmriti, forgetfulness. So as soon as Maya captures this jiva, two things happens. So he misidentify himself that okay, I'm not this body, or I'm this body, isn't it? He misidentify himself, and he thinks that whatever it is cosmic is there, it's actually for my enjoyment. And he forget. And what does he forget? He forgets his own nature, and then Maya takes over. And then after that, but the same says that Buddha and intelligent persons is who takes shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, seek instructions from him, and then take shelter. So at some point of time, at very beginning point of time, it is also described in Bhakti Sandarbha by Jiva Goswami, that at initial point of time, this jiva has misidentified himself without the knowledge of Krishna. So in the very beginning, when the jiva has been created in this material world, he has no information about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's how he is misidentified. However, as this progression happens, somehow or other, when he comes in touch with the devotees or Krishna Katha, he gets sukritis. And it's been described, it's not just one lifetime, it's many times. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadate vasudevam sarvamiti samatma sudurlava. Krishna is saying not durlava, it's sudurlava. It's rare, not rare, very rare. Right. So this identification, when is being cleared, this ignorance is wiped up by association of the devotees, by hearing Krishna Katha. Right. And then once this, Jiva Goswami says that once this knowledge is established in an living entity, he never forgets it. What does that mean? It means that this knowledge is there. How this knowledge is going to expand, that's a different story. But now he knows that actually something superior is there, right? And that can happen by taking shelter of the last line. He says, under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, whom he should accept as his worshipful deity and as his very life and soul. Isn't it? So, is that okay, Prabhu? Is that answer your question? I think we discussed some more on that. Okay. Yeah. Is Prabhu saying something?
This Brahman
Mhm.
it says that Krishna says that you are not the only Brahma. There are numerous Brahmas. Does that mean this thing is happening somewhere? Krishna Lila is happening now in a different material world or
Yeah.
somewhere else? Because if there is so many Brahmas, does that means this thing, this cycle thing, like 8.64 billion years I mean, one day of Brahma, that's for one Brahma. Does that mean it's numerous Brahmas and this goes on somewhere else at this moment?
Yes, Prabhu. So, I mean, if we, I'm just going back to I'm just going back to where it is. Yeah. Yeah. Can you see this now? So this is the one we're discussing right now. This verse. So here in 319, Mahaprabhu says that there are unlimited. So they are unlimited, and no one can count them. Just hear this as their source. So it means if you see that I was referring to the last picture. So there are unlimited universes, and in unlimited universes there are many pastimes of Lord are going on. So in this universe right now, we are in Kali Yuga. It might happen that in other universes there might be Sati Yuga or some pastimes are going on, right? So in one of my class of my Guru Maharaj, I was hearing Maharaj said that once Lord Brahma went to meet Lord Vishnu. He was sharing a story, and he says he knocked on the door, right? And then the gatekeeper says, "What happened? I want to meet Vishnu." He said, "Wait." He said, "Wow, how can you ask me to wait?" He said, "Wait, because he's in a meeting." Meeting with whom? He's meeting. Okay, let me ask. And he comes back and he says, "Okay." He's asking, "Which Brahma are you?" So Lord Brahma has become completely bewildered. He says, "What do you mean by which Brahma am I?" He said, "Just go and say I'm Brahma." He went back again, and then Vishnu says, "Okay, ask him which Brahma he is." So he comes back again and he says, "Vishnu is saying that which Brahma are you?" He says, "Okay, just say that I'm four-headed Brahma, Chaturmukhi Brahma." He said, "Okay." And then he went. And then he says, "Okay, he's saying that I'm the only Brahma and I have four heads, so no one else in this world has four heads." So Vishnu says, "Okay, that's fine. Call him inside." So when he was there, when he went inside, Lord Krishna Vishnu makes a nice illusion over there, and there are so many Brahmas, even thousand-headed Brahmas are there, and they are all paying obeisances to Vishnu. And then Brahma, for Brahma, "Oh, where I am now." So yes, so there are different Brahmas with different heads as well. So as I've heard, this I'm saying. So yes, Brahma. Previous verse 11:237. Yeah, 11 to 37. 11 to 37. Canto 11, chapter 2, text 37. And actually, I was hearing a lecture from of Bhakti Sandarbha, and then this verse was quoted about the living entity, uh, how he comes into the conditioned state and when was the time. And Prabhupada many times he says that no, it's eternal. So basically, we can't trace when we have been entangled in this metal world. So, and His Holiness Bhanuswami Maharaj explains about samsarga bhava, abhava. So there are three kinds of abhavas. Because of that, it happens. And the real abhava is paragabhava. Paragabhava is something which was not there in the beginning, but the potency was there. And in the journey, we get this knowledge, and after getting this knowledge, it's even till eternal, ananta. So that is Krishna's knowledge. So initially, when the living entity being created, or when it comes in the material world, he has no knowledge about Krishna, but the potency was there because the jiva is eternal. The potency was there to get the knowledge about Krishna. So when he get the knowledge about Krishna once, so he never forgets it anymore. But as we say, right? So bhakti is there. The seed of devotion is being laid down by the devotees, and rest we need to do our Sravan and Kirtan to pour water on the bhakti latabi so that it can expand. So that expansion takes time depending upon different persons. So understanding is there now that actually I'm not his body, I'm the spirit soul, I'm servant of Krishna. But how much faith we have in that word, how much faith we have in our parampara, how much faith we have in our holy name, that depends upon how much nourishment we are giving to our Bhakti Lata Bij. So that was the discussion, and then this words came to there. Anything else? Okay, so we'll stop here. Yeah, okay, both. So we discussed Chaitanya Charitamrita and also Srimad Bhagavatam. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Oh, tomorrow is Janmashtami, isn't it? Yeah. And we are all here for that, isn't it? Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.